Yo, what up, guys? We're back for the post-weigh-in breakdown, just review if I'm gonna change any picks, stuff like that. Tell you guys my bets. So, for the first fight of the night, Alex Perez, Mark De La Rosa. I've been kind of getting a weird feeling about this fight where I feel like Mark De La Rosa may be able to do some things, maybe able to pull some stuff off, but in reality, I haven't really. I just think Perez is the bigger guy. Obviously, he was the bigger guy at the weigh-ins today. It looked like to me. And I think he's the better striker. And I think that, on the ground, maybe that's where he can get a little bit of trouble with Mark De La Rosa, especially if he's on the bottom. But I just think he's a better wrestler as well. And I think he's the better top game than De La Rosa has on the bottom. So he can negate that. So, I do think that Alex Perez should win pretty confidently. But, I don't have the confidence to, lay a bet down on that line. I do kind of feel like it'll probably go to decision. It might go over 2.5 rounds, but Perez could also finish the fight, or De La Rosa could get a submission as well. So you never know. But I'm gonna stick with Alex Perez to get it done there. And then up next with Marina Moroz against Sabina Mazo. Kind of surprised how this line's been moving over the week. I actually bet on Sabina Mazo 3 units at -165. Now I think she's like -140, which I was thinking the line was going to go the other way. I don't really see much value in Marina Moreau. She's moving up to 125 pounds. Looked like Sabina was clearly bigger than her today. And Sabina's young. She's improving. She's more hungry, in my opinion. I mean, the only angle I could see is that it is her UFC debut, so maybe she's going to be a little bit jittery coming into this fight, and Marina could exploit that. But I think overall, she talks about how she has a pretty good background as well in jiu-jitsu, so I don't feel like even if she gets on top, she's going to be easily able to get armbarred. Like Marina Morelos usually likes to get that armbar off her back. I think she's going to be aware of that. She's going to be ready for it. So, I just feel like she's the better striker. She's the bigger girl. She hits harder. She's younger. I mean, everything kind of, in my opinion, is pointing towards Sabino Mazo getting it done. So, I actually think at -140, there's a lot of value in that. I kind of like the line for that fight. And, yeah, so I like Sabina Mazo there. Then I'm next with Ray Borg against Casey Kenny. Ray Borg missed weight for this fight at 135, which is pretty surprising because, he's a 125er, first 135-pound fight, and he's going to miss the weight. So that's a little alarming. It's kind of a thing maybe you have to think, how's his camp been going? Because he's obviously had those personal issues. Now he comes in here missing weight. It's, you know, it's a little bit interesting. I didn't get to break down Casey Kenny with you guys. I actually broke down Kyler Phillips, so I haven't really talked about this matchup, and I haven't really looked into it. I'm not going to be placing a bet on it, but I know Casey Kenny. Heard of him before, definitely. He's a two-division LFA champion. He just got a knockout last Friday in like the first round head kick. So I mean, he's definitely be ready to go. He's a wrestler as well, so he's, in my opinion, gonna probably try to negate the wrestling, keep it on the feet with Ray Borg, but it's an interesting fight. I think Casey Kenny is a 125er as well. So Borg actually looked a little bit bigger in my opinion than Casey Kenny. So I don't think the size is going to be a big thing for either guy here. But Casey Kenny is taking this fight on about a week's notice. So I'm going to have to stick with Borg here. I'm going to say Borg gets it done through his wrestling. But I really I haven't done any tape on that fight at all. So don't take my word for that one, to be honest with you. And then up next, Kevin Holland against Gerald Mearshart. I actually have a bet placed on Kevin Holland here. I'm pretty confident that he gets it done. I just think that he's the bigger, faster, more dynamic athlete, better striking, and he's a brown belt on the ground under Dean Lister. So he's definitely pretty good on the ground. I mean, we've seen him get some submissions in the past. He just recently got a submission over John Phillips. And I think that if he does get taken down, he's going to be able to find a way back to his feet. He's going to be able to maybe even attack on in top position. I definitely think he could attack with submissions off of his back. I think he should probably look to just stand up, but on the feet, I feel like his range and his speed is just going to be a different level than Gerald Mearshart. I just think that he's just a little bit better than Mearshart everywhere, and I actually think that it's likely that Kevin Holland's going to finish this fight. So I'm going with Kevin Holland, sticking with him, and pretty confident. I think he's going to cash on my bet for me. And up next, Enrique Barzola against Kevin Aguilar. I see Kevin Aguilar's a very popular underdog this week, but definitely sticking with my guy, Enrique Barzola. I just think that, Kevin Aguilar allows himself to get backed up to the fence, and I think Barzola is going to be in on his legs against the cage, or Kevin Aguilar is going to be on his back or Barzola is going to be hanging on him all night. I don't think Barzola is going to come in with that game plan like he did against Matt Bessette, where he's going to be striking, doing more striking. Because if he does, I mean, then Kevin Aguilar is very live. But, I mean, we've seen what he's done to guys like Brandon Davis, what he's done to guys like Mowgli Benitez. So he's been able to take those guys down, smother them, just completely dominate them, negate the grappling, or negate the striking advantage that they had, and actually make it an advantage for himself because once he gets that in and out movement going, gets those takedowns going, it's much harder to read his striking, and that's when he's able to get his striking off a little bit. So, I think he could strike maybe a little bit with Aguilar, but everything for Barzolas in this fight is to be getting Aguilar back to the cage and eventually getting in on those legs. So, I mean, that's what I want to see Barzola doing this whole fight is just embracing the grind, wrestling, and, just trying to just grind on Kevin Aguilar and win a fight like that. So I'm going to go with Enrique Barzola by decision there. Then Ross Pearson against Des Green. I'm actually thinking earlier in the week I was saying that maybe Ross Pearson could make it a close decision, things like that. But from the things I've been hearing about Des Green, I mean, it seems like he's very confident coming in here with good reason, and he wants to be more aggressive, try to get the finish. So, I feel like with the kicks, with the movement, the wrestling in his back pocket, he just has a lot of advantages over Ross Pearson here. And, you know, Pearson was pretty pumped up at the weigh-ins. He was telling him that he's going to sleep him and all this stuff. So it seems like he's kind of, pumped up. But, in my opinion, I just feel like Des Green, he should definitely win this fight. If he loses this fight, if he drops the ball here, that would be a terrible loss. It would be probably one of the worst losses of Des Green's career. So definitely think Des Green really needs to get a win here. He needs to get an impressive win. He needs to put it in third gear here. He's had a lot of fights where he arguably lost, arguably won. So, how about we get a definitive finish here from Des Green? How about he comes out here and shows us something? So, hoping Des Green comes out here with a little bit more assertiveness and gets Ross Pearson out of there, whether it's by submission or knockout. So, I'm going with Des Green. And then Jessica Aguilar against Marina Rodriguez. And, after watching a little more tape on this fight, I kind of think Aguilar is more live than I first said. I see her being able to get inside, land some punches, along with maybe winning a round through takedowns. I actually thought that against Weili Zhang, the way that she started the fight, she was very aggressive early. It kind of took Zhang off guard. Zhang immediately went into the clinch with her because she was throwing that overhand right hook right in the pocket. And, I mean, she was throwing it hard. If that lands on Marina Rodriguez, I mean, could be trouble for her as well. And I think that Rodriguez, will definitely be able to tag her in the clinch, hurt her there. So I feel like Aguilar should try to kind of shoot in on the legs, not hang around in the clinch, or just back her up against the cage. Just keep pressuring forward because Aguilar is a hell of a chin, man. And if she's able to take the shots, just get Rodriguez back to the cage, just continually take her down, she's has a chance to win this fight here. But, with her age, taking this fight on short notice, Rodriguez is very good in the clinch. She's a better range striker, even though I'm not extremely impressed with her range striking, to be 100% honest with you. But, I think she should have enough to beat Jessica Aguilar here. So, going to stick with Marina Rodriguez by decision, but definitely think that the line's a little off, and I really wouldn't parlay up Marina Rodriguez here. I mean, that's just my opinion. I know a lot of people think Marina Rodriguez is a sure thing. So, but, yeah, I'm going to say Marina Rodriguez wins a 29-28 decision here. Then Shaman Rice against Sadiq Yusuf. Sadiq, it seems like he's fighting for a bigger purpose here. Everything that he's been talking about with trying to get attention for his family to come over from Nigeria. He's talking about a lot of good things. It seems like he has his head on straight for being such a young guy, and he's going to come in here and he's trying to make some noise. And Shaman Rice isn't a guy to fuck around with either. That guy can knock you out with his legs, with his hands. So he's a scary guy to fight, but I just think Sadiq, his calmness, his composure, him being able to wrestle in there, he could change it up, I think, a little more than Shaman. I think that he's a little bit more, of a thinker in there. I think that he has a little bit better defense, a little bit better offense, a little bit more power. I just think overall he's a little bit better than Shaman, and I think Shaman is, very good. He's a very dynamic guy, and he could finish a lot of people, kind of like Maheta Santos. And then I feel like Sadiq is more of a guy that's going to come in there. He's going to shut down a lot of guys. He's going to be more of the elite class type of fighter, in my opinion. So I just think Sadiq is going to show that here. He's going to show that, he's going to be moving on to fight the guys in the top 15, the top 10, the top 5. So I really do think that's going to happen for Sadiq. So I'm going to say Sadiq comes in here and gets a second round TKO finish. Then up next, Paul Craig, Kennedy Nzechukwu. And I'm actually going to change my pick here from Paul Craig. I'm not, you know, I don't know. I mean, I kind of like the pick of Paul Craig just because if I get it right, everyone will. I'll be the only one of the only few people that picked Paul Craig. But seeing Kennedy this week, he definitely looks in better shape. From hearing all his interviews and all like that, it seems like he's been in the gym working, man. It seems like he's really been doing his thing. He wants to become a good fighter. So, I just feel like with that level of with if he's truly dedicated, getting better, I just think that he'll probably be too much for Paul Craig get a first round knockout here. So I'm gonna change my pick to that. But I do feel like Paul Craig is still alive. But yeah, I'm gonna change my pick to Kennedy in this fight. Then I'm next Michelle Waterson against KK, and man, I mean I'm actually gonna change my pick here too. I don't like changing a lot of picks, but just hearing some of the things that KK has been saying, the build up to this fight, like she was saying she didn't want to hurt Michelle Waterson and she's her idol and she's struggling with this fight, things like that. She also started talking about how she is thinking about retiring, having kids. So I feel like maybe Carolina, she doesn't have the right mindset coming in here for this fight. And she's just coming off getting knocked out. It seemed like she's still not even really wanting to talk about that fight. She's maybe not 100% over that. So I don't know. I just feel like Michelle Waterson, she's very confident right now. The way that she's talking, the way that she acts in the media, she has a lot of reason to want to win fights here because when she wins, she gets pushed, and she's one of the most marketable fighters in the entire UFC. So she has a lot more to gain here with a couple wins than Carolina does. So yeah, I'm gonna change my pick to Michelle Waterson, even though I feel like Carolina definitely could win the fight. Um, I just don't like some of the things I've been hearing from Carolina, her mindset. So I'm gonna say Michelle Waterson actually gets it done via decision or submission here. Then up next, Josh Emmett versus Michael Johnson, and it seemed like Michael Johnson had a little bit of struggle getting cutting the weight, but he made the weight cut. And yeah, I'm gonna stick with Michael Johnson, man. I'm actually pretty confident in this fight. I have a bet here on Michael Johnson, and yeah, I mean, I feel like it's gonna stay on the feet. I know a lot of people think Emmett's gonna wrestle here, but I haven't seen Emmett wrestle at all at 145, even at 155 when he fought guys like Des Green, when Michael Johnson was in Des Green's corner. No shots from Josh Emmett. I mean, the only fight where he really wrestled was Scott Holtzman. I just feel like on the feet, Johnson's going to be faster. He's going to have better movement. He's going to even potentially be a guy that hits just as hard as Josh Emmett. So, yeah, I feel like Josh Emmett coming back from that injury, fighting a hitter who's a mover like Michael Johnson, I feel like he's going to get peppered up, man. And if he doesn't able to get the takedowns, which I just don't think he's going to be able to do because it's just not his thing. I don't think he's going to be able to grind out a guy for 3 rounds. I'm going to pick Michael Johnson, get this win via third round knockout in this fight. I just feel like Michael Johnson is, he's confident. He's back into his winning ways, and I think he's going to show it here. I think he's seeing the main event is Edson Barboza versus Justin Gaethje, a guy that he's already beaten, is fighting for the UFC title. He knows that he can hang with these guys at the top of the division. That should give him a lot of confidence, and I think he's going to come out here and take out a guy like Josh Emmett. So I'm going to go with Michael Johnson, third round knockout here. Then Dave Branch, Jack Hermanson. Seems like everyone is on Jack Hermanson here, and yeah, I just don't buy it, man. I'm gonna have to see him beat Dave Branch. I've seen Jack Hermanson in his fight with Cesar Montanch and his fights with Talis Latis. He floats his chin in the air. He does have great movement, in my opinion. He's very good cardio as well. So I feel like the longer this fight goes, and if he could potentially get on top in the second or third round, I think he could definitely get Dave Branch out of there. But that first round is going to be a motherfucker for Jack Hermanson, man. I mean, Dave Branch comes hard. We saw him lay out Thiago Santos with that right hook, and he could lay out Jack Hermanson on the feet. And we've also seen Jack Hermanson, sometimes when he throws kicks, he doesn't set him up very well. He can get taken down with well-timed double legs. And if you end up on your back with a guy like Dave Branch, you can get submitted, or, you're usually not going to get up and you're going to lose that round. So Dave Branch has some paths to victory here. He's the veteran. And, some of these guys that Jack Hermanson has fought, I mean, he hasn't fought anyone at this level of Dave Branch. I mean, he fought Cesar Montanch, who submitted him rather easily. I mean, Jack Hermanson didn't do much in that fight. or everyone. I mean, I guess he has. He fought. I would put Cesar at a similar level to Dave Branch. I'd put Thiago Maheta at a similar level. So he has fought some guys at a similar level, but he hasn't gotten a victory. You know, Talis Latis retired on the next fight after Hermanson, and he gave Hermanson a hell of a fight. I mean, he was almost able to win that fight, almost able to submit Jack Hermanson. So I think that Dave Branch is going to go in here and get a first round finish, and I'm going to say that he gets it. But you know, if Jack Hermanson's able to come out here and get a big win, a dominating win, and you know, he's definitely a very good offensive fighter. I feel like his tools in terms of his striking, he hits hard, he's powerful, he's quick in and out. Even with his punching, he's getting a lot better now. Very good kicks. He's very big. He has great cardio, great wrestling, one of the best top games. So his offense is on point, but I don't know about his defense. I don't know about, you know, his ability to defend punches. I don't really like it. Don't really like his takedown defense. Don't really like his submission defense on the bottom. So yeah, so I'm gonna say Dave Branch is able to go out there and get a first round finish, but I feel like if Jack Hermanson can survive that first round, then it's probably his fight to lose, unless Dave Branch is able to just win the fight strictly through takedowns and control. So I'm gonna say Dave Branch will be a first round submission, but close fight there. In the main event, another close fight that I was telling you guys I've been going back and forth on, and man, still going back and forth, but I'm gonna pick Edson, man. I'm just super excited for that fight. It's gonna be pure violence. Everyone kind of knows what we're looking forward to in that fight. So, yeah, I just think Edson is gonna be able to pinpoint that body, man. I think he's gonna be able to attack the body of Gaethje, and he looks in phenomenal shape. I mean, he looks some of the best I've ever seen him. He's training at ATT now. He has a lot of confidence. He's only 32 years old. I mean, he's fought the best of the best. He's been in the UFC for nearly a decade, but he's in his physical prime now. He looked phenomenal against Dan Hooker, extremely fast. And I just think, you know, his fast twitch, his ability, his technicality is just going to beat that toughness, that forward pressure of Gaethje. But, you know, anything could happen. Gaethje hits hard as hell. He puts everything into his shots, and if he could land and get that clean on Edson, I definitely think Edson is the less durable guy. But, you know, Edson is a hammer, man. He deals out that punishment, and you're going to have to eat it. And I'm going to say Edson's going to be able to get a second or third round TKO finish here. But, you know, that's an incredible fight. I wouldn't put money on that fight either way. I don't know how you could be confident. But, you know, I do see a lot of people, some people confident in Gaethje, some people confident in Barboza. There's bets on both sides. But, you know, obviously I wouldn't say that. I don't think that fight's going to go 5 rounds. I would be pretty shocked. So, I mean, I think you could take that to the bank. But, yeah, so that's going to be my post weigh-in breakdown for this card. And, you know, also, I'll tell you guys all my bets real quick for the card as well. And one second here. I actually have I have a parlay with I have a play on Sadiq Yusuf as well for 2.5 units. I have a parlay with Desmond Green and Sabina Mazo. That's 2 units as well. So I have a couple plays here, and obviously I have the play on Sabina Mazo. I have the play on Michael Johnson. I actually have a play as well on Kevin Holland, Enrique Barzola. And yeah, so that's all my plays for this week. I actually might I'm looking at that line for Barbosa's line. You know, I feel like if it goes to a underdog, I might put like a half unit on it, but I just told you guys I don't want to bet on that fight, so it probably isn't a great decision. So I probably won't, but yeah, I mean, I feel like I'll probably just have those bets for the card. But yeah, so that's the post weigh and breakdown. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the UFC pay per view next time.